Okay. Hi. Welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast. This is your host, Jesus Guillen. Sorry. I had already everything set up, but then my dog came into the room, and so you might hear her in the background, but just ignore her, okay? And she's kind of breathing a little hard because she was playing with her ball. And well, she's gonna lay down now. There you go. She just laid down, so we should be good to record now. You hear the little snoring? Okay. So welcome back to Me versus Myself. This is Jesus Guillen, episode 53 of Me versus Myself. And if you're new here and you've never watched the Me versus Myself podcast, get comfortable because this is kind of the space where I am vulnerable, where I kind of explain the inside battle that goes on in my head. That being said, like me versus myself, me versus the voice in my head, or me just me against me. Me versus myself is a concept that really applies to everybody, and really like just kind of it does apply to everybody because everyone has that internal struggle of like them going against them. Like for example, sometimes you might feel lazy, and you know that you're supposed to be maybe doing something more productive, and you just don't do it because you kind of lean towards comfort. That's kind of the premise of me versus myself. This is the space where I've created for me to reflect on my life, reflect on certain feelings that I'm feeling, and kind of bring you guys along and explain how I'm going about dealing these certain things and how I'm going about like my life basically. And hopefully you can learn from hearing me speak about what it is that I'm talking about and whatever it is that I'm feeling. I've been told that I sometimes have put put the words, I mean, I guess I've like explained what certain people are feeling in my own words, and that gives people a sense of comfort, which is very like humbling, very like awesome to know that people appreciate what I'm doing, and it's helping you guys. So that being said, welcome to Me versus Myself. This is episode 53. And if you're wondering why I'm talking into a mushroom, this is the mic. Sorry, the mic is here. But today's episode, well, I'm gonna kind of explain to you what's been going on with me, where I've been this past week, what's happened since last Tuesday. A lot has happened, but as you can see, we're talking about mushrooms today. We're talking about psychedelics today, and talking about what psychedelics teach us and what they can teach us, and what they've taught me about me. Right. So last Tuesday, um, this is a kind of a little bit of a touchy subject because, like, it is stigmatized heavily, and well, me kind of putting myself out there like this is kind of like a big step, but also like I have so much to share that like it has helped me so much. So regardless of what certain people think about it, like I know that it's helped me. I know that it's a medicine at the end of the day, and psychedelics are something that are very powerful. And obviously they're not for everybody, and in no way do I condone the use of illegal or legal substances. This is just my experience, and this is just me talking from I guess my perspective and my experience. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Obviously, this isn't encouraging. This isn't to encourage anybody to do anything. This is just what I've experienced and my relationship and my just experience with these substances, right? So as you guys know, I'm on this like 60 something day boot camp of like no weed, and so far I'm like 14 or 15 days in. Today is the 15th, so at the end of today, I am 15 days free of THC. Excuse me, sorry. But in the process of that, so I figured because THC is a dopamine drug, so it's like dopamine, it gives you like that sense of like a reward. I figured that since I was approaching shrooms and I was approaching acid in a more like a more medicinal way, more like seeking healing because I know the power that they have. So basically, okay, so last Tuesday I picked up an eighth and two tabs, and Tuesday, right? Tuesday night, I came home. I had about 2 grams, a 2 gram trip of shrooms. And let me tell you guys, my reality was shook. My reality was kind of like destroyed right in front of my face. And I was kind of left like shook because I had no idea that, I mean, obviously, it going into it, like there's, you don't really know what you're going to come across and what you're going to experience or what you're going to, be confronted with. But before that, I did set some intentions here. I don't even have my journal ready. Give me 1 second. I basically told myself that I wanted to dig deeper into myself, and I wanted to just kind of come in contact and to heal over certain trauma that maybe I still carry around, or heal or get over like certain like wrongs that people have done to me, because I felt like for so long I was carrying like kind of a grudge towards certain people, or just a negative connotation toward them because of like say things that they did. But after after taking this trip, so it started off really good. It started off just me feeling very like happy and very good, and me dancing and me going outside and dancing like toward like it was literally I had earphones plugged in, looking at the moon. It was just me alone, like me dancing. I was listening to music, just dancing and feeling so free and so good. And also like there was a point where I sat outside and just looked into like the view that it's like outside my house. Um, and I was just looking at the stars and the light, and I felt like I was communicating with the light, because like the light would just kind of get brighter on one side. Like for example, one speck of light would get bright, and then for example a star would get brighter, and it just my attention was just focusing on so many sources of light that it kind of felt like I was communicating with light, and it was just like it was like a cool little show, happening like just me alone. I was enjoying it, I was experiencing it, and then I went back inside, right, and well, for a while I stopped listening to music because I was like maybe like the silence is also very cool, and it was very cool just hearing just how quiet the night was. It was about like 2 in the morning, um, and well during this like I came back inside, right? I came back inside my house, and I was just thinking basically, and well there was some thoughts that I kind of came across that kind of started this whole like reality kind of ego death, you can say. So while I was in here, I was kind of explaining to my brother that time wasn't really real. Like for some reason, like I guess when you're under this like state and you're in this state of mind, like you don't really a lot of this like human concepts that we go by don't necessarily exist because you're just kind of in a different state of mind. So like for example, I wasn't necessarily in the future. I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't thinking about the past. And I wasn't really even in the present. I just felt like I was existing, right? And I told him like, time isn't real. Like it doesn't feel real. Like it's like, yeah, time is just kind of a measurement of. It's just a way we measure the moment, right? I told myself like it's not today, it's just right now. And for some reason, those thoughts really like resonated with me because it felt like wow, like we worry about a lot of things. We worry about like tomorrow. We worry about what's going on next. And we worry about like like it just felt like time didn't really exist because it just felt like it was just a measurement that we use to kind of guide ourselves throughout the day. And like being able to like see outside of that was kind of weird and also cool because it was like well like time really doesn't exist. If you don't if you're not checking the time or you don't check the day, like literally it's just existing. And if you think back to like back to like caveman times, like when there was no clock, it was just night and day. You just existed, and the time was more of like a concept introduced later on. And I'm not so sure how time became a worldwide thing and a universal concept like that. It was just kind of like, I guess, it felt like I was just existing. It felt as if time, yeah, exactly, like time didn't really exist or time didn't really matter so much. And well like that also brought the question of like well what does matter? And does like any of this matter? This and it was just kind of this loop. I got caught in the loop of like well what matters and what doesn't matter? Like does I guess it was more of like a kind of scary feeling to come in contact with like not knowing what mattered, or it felt like literally like my existence didn't matter, or I just didn't really exist because like I said I wasn't in the past, I wasn't thinking about things that have happened, I wasn't thinking about the future, and I wasn't really like thinking about what was going on. I was just kind of existing in this state, and I was just observing everything and just reflecting and thinking about my life and just like kind of coming to terms with like wow like a lot of this doesn't really matter, a lot of this is just kind of a distraction or things that we accept now, but at the end of the day like we're just organic beings. So I guess I kind of learned and I felt like a tree. I guess I can put it like that. Like trees alive, and trees are obviously doing whatever they do to be alive. But like it's not like time exists to them. They just kind of exist. They just are there, and that's how I felt. I felt like I was just a plant, and literally like I was just an organic being. I was just present in myself. And then like okay, then it came to the content. Well, like what am I? Like who am I? Right? Who is me? Who is Jesus? And I didn't really know for a bit. I was just like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I am. I didn't feel real for some reason. And this kind of concept or this thought was kind of scary because like you never really question who you are or your identity. But when I guess questioned my identity and my thoughts and my whoever I was, like it was just like, well, fuck, like who am I? Like, am I even real? Like, is any of this even real? And that triggered an ego death of like not knowing who you are and being like existing without the person you claim to be or the person you know yourself to be as. I wasn't necessarily Jesus. I was just kind of existing, and that was kind of like whoa, like what the fuck? That was just very like mind. I guess it was just very like ego. I guess sorry, the word. I mean, it is ego death, right? Ego death is kind of that term of like not knowing who you are, kind of like escaping that realm of like who you are, and just literally like having that person of you, whoever you think you are, just be shattered, and just kind of you're kind of not sure as to who you are, and that's very like it was scary at the time. So I'm gonna put this down. It's kind of getting heavy, but you guys get the concept of psychedelics today. Um, like it was scary because, like I said, like I did feel so uncomfortable because I didn't know what it was or who I was, or I didn't really feel like anything mattered. It just felt like, why is anything really a thing? I was just scared, and I got caught in a loop of like, well, what's real? Am I real? Am I not real? Like, and it was just like I don't really want to be tripping anymore because it was just scary. It's just like fuck, like, am I gonna feel like this forever? Am I just gonna feel like everything's meaningless? And then I tried to lay down and sleep. I tried to just close my, and I couldn't. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't fall asleep because I was just so. I felt so uncomfortable. Like I felt so off. Like I just literally felt like nothing mattered. Like nothing had any meaning to it. And it wasn't until I went to the bathroom. I told my brother like, "Yo, I don't feel good," because in the bathroom I was just kind of like, "What the fuck is going on?" Trying to like calm myself down because obviously like when you're tripping, like it's just a matter of you just letting go and taking everything as it comes, and whatever comes up you deal with it, and no, don't fight it. You're not supposed to fight it. But like it was just like I don't feel real. I told my brother I don't feel real. Like I don't know what's real. And then he was like, you are real. You are real. Like you do exist. You do matter. And I am real. And that also calmed me down. That calmed me down and kind of brought me back as far as like who I am. I was just like, okay, I kind of started feeling like I was me again. And we sat outside again, and I was just taking in the world again, and just kind of like, okay, like, yeah, this is real. Everything is going on for a reason. I was just really tripping. I was just really caught up in that loop of like time. And also one thing that really had a big part to do, a big thing to do with it. Like I hadn't slept that much before that. So I had slept maybe like 4 hours in like the 2 days of the time frame of that. So I did kind of feel like I was just like in a never ending loop because, well, I kind of forgot what sleep felt like. And I was just like, well, I don't know what it feels like to sleep. I don't know anything. I just felt so confused and so out of me. And I guess like now looking back and literally the next day after, I that felt really like humbling, very grounding. Like it was just like, wow, like I got to experience life without knowing what I was or without knowing who I was. And that gives you the perspective of like, whoa, like slow down a little bit, slow down and just like, live in the moment, take everything just like a little less serious. Cause it's like at the end of the day, like you're not even the person you think you are, you're just an organic being and you're just existing. And that's very, like, that might sound scary And maybe this isn't this isn't maybe what you want to hear before you trip. And if you do plan on tripping, like obviously you do your own research and you kind of understand what you're going into before doing it, because it's not just like a fun thing where it's just like, oh, it's just having fun. Obviously you can take it in that mindset, but I mean, for me, it's more of a medicine. It's more of a way for me to reflect on myself, or just a new perspective of my life, right? So it's up to you, however you want to take it. I definitely recommend setting some intentions before your trip, like kind of like preparing yourself mentally for what might occur, or just kind of giving yourself a direction of like where you want to go, where you want to, kind of what you want to explore, right? I told myself that I wanted to get over certain things. I wanted to kind of dive deeper into myself. And I feel like I got everything that I needed from that trip. Like I got the sense of discomfort of not knowing who I was, and through that I learned so much about me. Like just kind of reminded me to like humble, like it humbles you. Not knowing who you are really like shakes your reality. Really like doesn't it really makes you think about a lot more than just like what happens every day and what just who you think you are. Just pulling yourself out of your current mindset and being able to reflect on it was just like whoa, because I felt like I wasn't even Jesus. Like I said, I wasn't in the past, I wasn't in the future, and I wasn't in the present. I was just me. And but it was just like I didn't feel like Jesus. Like whoever Jesus was up to that point, I couldn't really tap into that. I didn't know what I was. I didn't know who I was. And through that, I've just felt so much lighter about so many other things. Like I used to be a very very jealous person in my last relationship. That was one of the most like annoying things that I dealt with. Like I would feel very guilty, or I felt not guilty, but very like jealous over like stupid things. It was like it was just my mind would just go towards the worst thing, and that also just took me out of like being present. Also sometimes, like if you're worried about things that haven't even happened, like you're just wasting time, right? And I learned that, and I learned that I'm strong and I'm powerful, and then I'm not. I don't feel those things. And obviously, I don't have a girlfriend right now, so maybe there's like no reason for me to feel that. But like, I just feel very insecure a lot of the times while I was in my last relationship, because I always felt like I had something to lose. Right? I felt like there was something trying to, I guess, kind of take me away from what was mine. And although none of those things ever came true, and it was just me kind of thinking that all the time, I do notice and look back now and be like, wow, like I wasted so much time worrying about like certain little things that didn't even happen or don't even exist. Only existed in my head, and it's just stupid to waste time and feel those things. I just feel like I got over a lot of that, and like just also like how I said I wanted to get over certain wrongdoing, like people that I wanted to get over wrong. I guess at times I'd been wronged before, or the times I was done dirty. Because I was caught in that loop of like like I'm okay, I'm over it, but also it still kind of bugs me, and it's just like what, bro, like take it easy. Like I promise you, those things happen, and whatever happened, and whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. It's like you're not in control of that, so it's just like don't dwell so much on whatever happened already. Like yeah, maybe people did you wrong, and I don't have to talk to them anymore. It's simple as that. Like it's like I don't have to live my life thinking about them or bringing myself down because of those people, when it's just like it's not like if I don't, it's my fault whether or not they affect me or not now. It's like what, they're not thinking about me, I shouldn't be thinking about them, and whatever happened and whether I was done dirty or not, like it's fine. Like I've learned from all of those experiences, and it does hurt. Like obviously you do get your feelings hurt. People do you dirty, and it's just like wow, okay, like I thought we were cool, but I guess not. Like all right, then fuck you. So now it's just like what? It's like oh well, like whatever. Like it's not much I could do then. I can't do much about it. It's like necessary. You did me wrong. You did me dirty. Okay, like I'm sorry about that. But it's like it's your fault. It's like it's not my fault. I shouldn't feel bad over being done wrong. I just gotta, I know that I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and then I'm like eventually just gonna stunt on them, and then it's just gonna be like, wow, bro, you could have been with me, you could have been on the same, you could have been eating at my table, but you fucking did me dirty. And it's like I hope you eat, whatever. If you do, you don't. If you don't, you don't. It's just like we could have ate at the same table, but you did me dirty, so now you're gonna miss out. And That's just at the end of the day, I feel like that's just a bigger like a win for me, you know. And I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone, but I have it gives me kind of a sense of comfort, I guess, to know that I'm gonna do my thing, and you know the people that were in my life back then, like they had the chance to join me. All they had to do was be loyal to me, and if you weren't, and if you fucked up, you fucked up. I forgive you guys, but it's like I don't really need you anymore. I don't need you in my life. You showed me a true color. You showed me your true colors, and there's not really much you can do to win me back. Like, yeah, I'll forgive you, but I don't need you in my life. I don't need anything from you. And it's like, well, like, sorry, whatever happened, happened, and it's not really up to me anymore. You know, it's like, it's not my fault that happened. I wasn't the one that initiated or did that to you. You know, I've always been a giver, you know, so it's like whenever you took advantage of that, it was just like, okay, like, you're not going to get anything anymore. You know, I'm not going to give anything to you anymore. I don't owe you anything. And you don't owe me anything. So it's like, I don't need you. If you don't need me, like, you don't need me. You're at your table, I'm at my table, and we're going to eat here. We're going to eat fucking good here, you know? But you slept, and that's all I can really say. Like, people slept, and if you did do me dirty, I forgive you. Oh, well, you know, it happened. You did it for whatever reason. But it's all good. And, you know, I feel like I got over so much trauma or so much like grudges that I was feeling back then. Because it's not good to hold that stuff either. You know, you don't get anything from that either. So, you know, it was just like, you know what? It happened. Whatever happened, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, and it's simple as that. Like, you know, just move forward and take everything as it comes. Don't worry so much. And, you know, whatever happened, happened. That's one of the greatest lessons that I've learned from it. Because, you know, being taken out of myself and my own reality was just like, whoa. You know, slow down and, you know, take things with a grain of salt, because so much more is going to happen still, you know, so much is going to keep on happening. So might as well just prepare and learn to get over the things that don't matter. So I think that that 2 gram trip was very, very beneficial to me. It was very like eye opening, you know, and it was just very like nice to experience that release. You know, although it was a little scary at the time, and it was like kind of like a reality shaking experience, but I enjoyed it and I learned a lot from it, and I appreciate the medicine, you know, that gave me that perspective that has allowed me to get over those feelings of like jealousy, or the feelings of like holding a grudge, or the feelings of, you know, being hurt because I was done wrong or something like that. Like, just, oh well, did me dirty. Okay, there's not much I can do about it. You know, it's not much we can do. What's done is done, and it's simple as that. What's done is done. So take that from that experience. And then 2 days later, I believe, or a day later, or 2 days later, I did the last gram that I had, and that experience was very humbling. Not necessarily humbling, like earth shattering. It just kind of it just grounded me even more. Like, it made me, you know, it reassured me of me, and it made me very confident in like my abilities to make whatever I want happen. Like, it just created, it just inspired me to, you know, it gave me more purpose, right? Since like I had gotten over so many things, I guess the symbolism from it was like I was planting new soil. And like during this experience, like during this trip, this 1 gram trip, I restored like a little garden bed that we have. I restored the dirt. I made it soft again. I moisturized it. I put new soil into it. So kind of, I took it as in like me, you know, getting over a lot of those hard, I guess the hard the dirt, and I guess the stone cold, you know, and getting it ready for new beginnings and new plant, like new flowers, you can say. And in that garden bed, I did plant new flowers like literally the next day. So it was cool to kind of symbolize, like, you know, getting over necessarily like old patterns and old habits, and replacing them with new life, and, you know, getting ready to accept this new abundance that I'm gonna receive. And so those, you know, that eighth was very, very helpful, very spiritual, very beneficial. And it's awesome to know that there's it's just plant medicine. Plant medicine is very powerful, and I'm very glad that a lot of people are waking up towards it. And psychedelics are going to change the world, and they have changed the world, and they will continue to change the world. And I guess like me kind of saying this experience again isn't necessarily to influence you to do anything. This is all whatever you do is on your own will. But I'm just sharing my testimony and my experience with these because I feel like they've helped me so much, and they've just made me more present. Also, because like during my shroom experience, I found so much joy in literally just sitting down and looking out into the world. It was just like wow, like this is what being in the moment feels like, and there's so much beauty in it because like it's just so simple. At the end of the day, like life is really simple. And we get caught up in so many little things that add up and just add so much stress to our lives that we don't always take the time to just relax and reflect and just be like, wow, like, it's all good. It's all good. And yeah. And on Friday, so that was Tuesday and maybe Tuesday and Thursday, I want to say that. And then on Friday, I was on my way to the beach and I popped the tab and then I was in the water swimming. And right when it started hitting, like I was swimming, so it just felt so good and so liberating to just feel free and literally just lay in the water and float and feel like, wow, like this is awesome. This is so cool. This is so liberating. This is so like obviously I love the ocean, so that just takes my happiness to like level 1000. But like being in the ocean, feeling so happy to just be present and alive, being with my cousins, it was just like, wow, bro, life is so beautiful. And just well, if you've done acid, you understand that feeling of just like it's just you're alive. You're just so present, and just the little visuals I was having, and I was listening to music also after getting out of the water. It was just very like humbling. It's just I guess every time I've had psychedelic experiences, that the other perspective I get really is humbling to me. It really allows me to feel again like feel grounded and feel whole, and kind of restart and feel inspired also, because while I was on the tab, like I was telling myself and I'm repeating it in my head, like I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna be successful. I am successful. I was telling myself and building that pattern in me to recognize that I am gonna be successful and I am successful, and just like creating new bridges into my head to just remember that and always think that, remember, and keep saying my affirmations to myself of like I am successful. I have X amount of wealth. I have it's just telling yourself and programming your subconscious mind to really take things into action later on. And just being on that, it was just like I'm gonna make this happen, bro. Like, and I know I can do it, and I know I'm gonna do it, and I know how to do it. It's just putting in the work, showing up now, showing up now, showing up, show up, show up, show up, and do it. And just keep believing in yourself and keep remembering that everything you want to do is just it's in your head, it's in your power. We're all humans at the end of the day, so it's like anything anyone else has done, simply because they're human, you can also do too. It's like there's nothing. Like obviously there is some exceptions towards that, but like you are so powerful, and literally anything any human has done, like you have the power of learning how to do it, and there's really no one to stop you but you, right? There's nobody that can hold you down, and there is people that are gonna try to hold you down, but you can't. If they get in your way, you gotta leave those people behind, man. And I've learned that too. Like if they're not pushing you forward, if they're not moving forward with you, like it's okay. It sucks. Maybe you have to leave a couple of friends. You have to leave certain people back. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, well, I'm chasing my success. I'm chasing me. And if you're not gonna help me get there, like, what are we doing? We're not really like I'm not really gaining anything from this friendship or this relationship anymore. And that's a scary thing. That's a scary feeling. That's scary thoughts to like really come to terms with. Having to necessarily, I guess, drop people from your life. It's a little scary. Because again, it's comfort. Like you're so used to having certain people, and those people have been in your life for X amount of time. But if you start feeling that disconnect, like there's no reason to try to, there's no reason to keep watering dead plants. It's like if it's dead, and go out and plant some new ones, and have new experiences and just keep adding value to your life. Don't spend energy like where your energy isn't appreciated. It's like, I guess if you're friends with somebody who kind of doesn't move you forward anymore, and you guys were friends for X amount of time, and it's like you cherish that, but also it's like moving forward, like if you're just gonna be like this, like I'm moving forward, and it's okay that emotional disconnect is gonna happen because everyone's on their own path. And maybe you learn some things that kind of make you feel like, oh, like maybe I don't want to be your friend all that much, or maybe I shouldn't really hang out with you because you're kind of negative all the time. And that's perfectly fine. Like that's just you realizing more like what it is you want to be doing and what you want for yourself. And it's like some people might not get that, and some people might not understand your path. But it's like if you know your path, and like if you see that these people aren't really adding value to your life anymore, like bro, like you have the power to just decide who comes into your life and who stays in your life. And again, like if the people that you want to include in your life are adding value to you and are moving you forward and are looking forward to seeing you succeed, those are the people you want. You don't want the people that are like holding you back or that tell you, nah, you shouldn't do that because this. And it's like, no, like even if they don't understand, like there's people that, well, I can tell my goals to, and maybe they don't necessarily see the world the way I see it, but they don't tell me like don't do it, or they don't give me that negative like perspective of like, well, it's kind of this or it's kind of that. And it's just like, bro, like I don't need to hear that. I just need you to tell me you support me. And it's like if you don't understand it, that's fine. You don't have to understand my path. But if you're looking forward to seeing me reach that path, whether or not that path is clear to you, like that's the people that I want in my life. That's the people I want to surround myself with, because it's like I want people who are going to push me to want to do more and not be mediocre necessarily. Like I don't want to like at the end of the day, like I don't want to get where I or be held back simply because people are sharing their limiting beliefs and putting them onto me. It's like I don't need that. If you don't understand my path, but you support my path, like that's literally that's powerful. But it's like if you don't understand my path and then you give me your perspective based on like the path you don't even understand, it doesn't work. It's like I don't need that perspective. You don't need that perspective from anybody that isn't adding value to your life. Because that's where I've been, bro. And after all these experiences, I just feel so grounded and so humbled and so like focused on, again, like my business and my fitness. Like I said back in the day, like a couple podcasts ago, fitness and business are my main focuses right now. And I've been making a lot of steps towards my business, and I do notice that I'm still holding myself back a little bit, but I'm taking way more action than I have been in the past year. So even then, like maybe I'm not necessarily there, but it's like I'm slowly building my way back up there, and I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing more work than I have done all year. So I really can't be mad at myself for, I guess like not necessarily doing this so much, but I am working on it, and I am, I've gotten to the point where it's like everything makes sense. It's just take the leap now, take the leap. And again, tomorrow is a new day. I'm glad that I can, come like I'm glad that I can tap into this mindset now. Like this is part of me now. And it's not just a thought anymore. It's just something I'm working on now. And obviously like the more I put in, the more I'll get out. But I'm learning to be okay with putting X amount of time into it and making that a routine to like, this time is this and this mind shift is this. And this mindset, when they're at this time, like I should tap into this mindset. This is a business mindset. This is when I'm working on my business, and anything else, like it shouldn't distract me from it. And I'm excited, man. This business, social media marketing, man, Guillen Media. I promise you guys, this is gonna give me the lifestyle that I want. And then even then, like this is just gonna add so much more value to my life because I'll have so much more capital to invest back into me. Like I'll have a better camera. It's just, this is gonna give me the lifestyle I want, and um, the lifestyle the lifestyle I want for myself is gonna be so cool because it's gonna tie into this perfectly. It's like it's gonna add more equipment wise. Everything's gonna get better, but also like just personality wise and just life. I guess what's the word, like, I guess the value of my life just is gonna increase so much more because like, I'm doing what I want, and what I want is giving me the life that I want. And it's just, more happiness is to come from that. It's like I've built my successful business that I've been working on. Okay, now I have money to invest into X thing. I have money to invest into my equipment. I have money to invest here. If I want to go travel and make a podcast, say at the beach, or I want to go over there, like I have the freedom, and I'll be financially free to do that. And after that, well, as I'm doing that, also the podcast is going to be growing. Which, if you haven't, please leave a like. Please subscribe if you've made it this far. Um, and please leave a comment or something. Just say, "Hey, I made it this. I made it at the 35 mark," and that's awesome. I appreciate you guys for just listening and watching, and I hope you guys can learn from me. That's what I want to do. Because after a year of me versus myself, which is in September, I'm gonna have guests on this. And again, like you're not just gonna be learning from me. You're gonna be learning from other people and their perspective of their life, of their own me versus myself, in whatever way they interpret that, in whatever way that resonates with them. So look forward to a year of me versus myself, and also just guests coming on to here. I think that's awesome because one, I'm gonna connect with a lot of people, and their people are gonna tune in to watch their person be on my show, and me versus myself, the concept. I've explained this a lot, man. I've explained this, and I've showed you guys, and I've told you guys how proud I am of it. It just applies to everybody, and you have so much to learn from. You can learn something from everybody, right? And if I can give you my perspective, and you hear someone else's perspective, it's just super valuable. And this space is for me to be vulnerable, for whoever's on here to be vulnerable, and just kind of talk about whatever they need to talk about, whatever it is that maybe they feel hold them back. And in that, like, that's also very therapeutic. Being able to just express yourself based on the things you like or the things you feel is super therapeutic. It's super awesome. Because even and like after I record these episodes, I feel so light. Like it's just like I feel like I go to therapy, and I get this chamber of reflection that I get to just live and exist in for a little bit. And it's like I love sharing it with you guys. I love having an impact on people, and just the more it grows, the more I can reach. The more people I can reach, and the more people I can impact. And I'm just excited for that. I'm excited to continue growing. I'm excited to continue experiencing this. And yeah, like I said, it is day 60. It is day 15 out of day 15 out of 70 or 65 days, I think it was. So out of 76 days, I've done 15 days, which is awesome. This is I've learned so much also here, and I'll have a podcast explaining everything I learned from this break, because it's like I haven't necessarily learned everything that I need to learn. I still have like 50 days at least to keep experiencing this sober self, and I like it. I've really enjoyed it, and I've gotten a lot of I've learned a lot so far about myself, even now, even just like in the short amount of time that I've been doing this. So it's like I'm halfway done with a month, which is like what I did in October, Sober October. I did a whole month without it, and that taught me a lot. So it's like I have like double of what that it was for me to keep on learning and experiencing. And also, bro, I'm getting healthier, dogs. I'm getting healthier. I'm getting happier and healthier. You can see my face. Looking skinny, dog. And I'll show you guys the guns, but I don't got my gun permit with me right now, so can't really show you guys the guns. But they're coming, brother. I promise you. I'm getting a lot more fit. I'm all sore, too. My back is sore. My chest is sore. My abs are sore. But this is progress, bro. I'm making progress. And I'm so happy, man. I'm excited to be able to sesh again. But also, like, I do feel a little bit weird about that because it's like, fuck, like, am I really going to break this streak when it happens? But it's going to be my birthday, and I'm turning 19, bro. And I'm so excited because it's like I'm 18, Like, I feel so not woke, but I feel like I've lived and experienced so much that I feel like I have a lot to share. And the fact that I'm like still young is very like powerful to me. It's just like wow, it's like you're young, but like, you're so centered and you're so on track about what you want, and you're so disciplined because you're able to, just drop something you really liked and really enjoyed for maybe 2 months and just focus on you even more is just like wow, I'm so proud of you, Jesus. And I'm so like the other day I listened to the podcast of like Dear 20-Year-Old Me, and that also inspired me because it was like wow, like I'm like everything that I whenever I recorded that was maybe like 3 months ago, everything I set up to that like then I've been working on, and it's like I'm building everything that I told myself I'd be building back then. So it's like when I'm 20 in a year, I can look back and be like, wow, you fucking did it. And you guys too. This is one thing that I love. I'm capturing moments and capturing me. So in the future, I can go back and look at 18-year-old Jesus on July 15th, 2020. And I can learn from myself and I can hear myself and be like, wow, Jesus, you fucking did it. And even you guys, like I hope you guys can learn from it and see and just be inspired maybe by me reaching my goals to go on and pursue your own goals too. Because it's amazing. It's so fulfilling to say you want to do something and then like be able to look back and be like, I did it. And then that's just also motivation for people to be like, wow, he said what he was going to do. And look, it took him X amount of time, but he did it. And it's like, wow, like we saw him plan it, and we didn't necessarily see him necessarily like build it. You don't really see the process of it so much. You just see like the mindset of it. But even then, like that's very powerful to see me, plan something, or for me to say I'm gonna do this 60-day, 65-day, 75-day, whatever it is, 76 days like sober chart, or 76-day like sober. Like for me to say that and like me being happy about fulfilling that, like bringing you guys along with that is just so cool. Because I really hope I'm inspiring people to change and to improve. And like you have the power to improve yourself. You have the power to do whatever you want with your life. You can write and you can say whatever you want, and you have the power to make that happen for yourself. You are capable of so much. You are so powerful, and nobody really tells you that. But I'm here to tell you that you are very powerful. And not every day is a good day. I promise you. I've been having some kind of bad days also. Because obviously, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that. There's a lot of things that go into that I don't necessarily want to talk about right now. Because I feel like I'm not necessarily over it, but those days are, they came and I experienced them, but they're gone now. So it's like I feel good right now. So there's really no focus. There's really no point in focusing on yesterday if I don't feel that anymore. Like obviously reflect and like think about why maybe you feel this way, or why maybe you feel a certain way. But even then, it's like, well, it is what it is. It's like, oh well, like it happened. It happened. So it's like, okay, learn from it and move on. So reflect, so accept it, reflect on it, and then move on. That's just powerful. That's one of the things I've learned. Whatever happened, and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You don't have control over that. You have control over how you react to what happens to your life. So you have the power to change your life. You have the power to make your life the way you want it. And like I'm so happy. Like literally, it's just a matter of time continuing to pass. We're almost at 60 something days left. 60. I think we're at 61 days or 51 days. I'm not sure, but it's awesome. It's very awesome. It's like my birthday is like in 2 months because today's the 15th. Today is July 15th, so my birthday is September 14th. So it is like 2 months ish. So I'm excited, man. I'm happy about everything that's going on right now. And there is one thing that I mean, not necessarily that I'm in a rush to fix, because I'm not really in a rush to get into a relationship. But I do miss having someone. And it is a little lonely sometimes. It is like, it's kind of like, it's a little lonely, to be honest. But, oh well, dog. It's me versus myself 24/7. You know what it is. You guys know the deal. You guys know what this is. And I'm so happy for you to be learning from me, hopefully, and taking something from these podcasts, because it's very cool to know that. Okay, okay, you can go. Bye bye. Bye, Millie. Go, Millie. Go, big girl. Go, big girl. It's very awesome. Sorry, it's very awesome to know that you guys are influenced by me, or just have a that I have an impact on some of you, or that I'm able to put into words whatever it is that you feel. Like, that's just very powerful and very motivating to continue doing. And this isn't going anywhere. I promise you, this podcast is something I'm looking forward to doing for a very, very long time. Because even then, like, me versus myself, like, that's never gonna go away. You know, that it's always gonna be that. So, it's like when I'm 30. Oh, look at Millie's back. Millie's back. It's okay. We're gonna end the podcast in a bit. So she's gonna be chewing on her ball, so it might squeak a little bit. So just that. But even then, like, when I'm older too, the concept still applies. It's just you're gonna get to learn from a more experienced me. Maybe you're gonna learn from a more mature me, or just a different kind of me. Because obviously, time happens and time changes people. So for all I know, I'll be a little bit different, but the concept still applies. And like adding guests to it is just gonna add another layer to me versus myself. And just I feel like it's been almost a year, so it's like you guys know what me versus myself is. So just adding that next step is just like adding more color to the picture, right? And well, that being said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing. We're at 33 subscribers right now, which is awesome because like a couple months ago we were at 18, so we gained quite a few in the past like couple of months. And well, I'm looking forward to gaining more subs. So if you really enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. Please consider liking the video, as it does help the video get pushed out a little bit more. But it's up to you. You're in charge of yourself. I can't tell you what to do, obviously. But thank you for taking the time to sit with me and listen to me and hopefully learn from me. I thank you guys so much for your support. I thank you so much for, for just watching the videos. It means so much. And it's so amazing to know that I have some of you guys' support. And well, the army is growing, so it's like if you're here already, buckle up, bro. Buckle up, because the ride is barely going to take off. It's like this is just the beginning stages. And it's like, wait till we take off, bro. And it's like, you're going to be so proud that you were here in the beginning. And I can't wait to make that happen for you guys. So I'm looking forward to continuing to grow. I'm looking forward to continuing to live, and looking forward to continuing motivating or just giving you guys the perspective of my life and how I go about dealing with my own problems. I love you guys so much. I love every one of you. And if we haven't met, please leave a like, leave a comment so we can meet. Or if you also would like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Jesus_Spiffy. I'll have it on screen. I always kind of put it on screen. So if you guys are interested in that, please follow me. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to me versus myself. This has been episode 53. What psychedelics teach us, right? So thank you for listening. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of me. And you're doing amazing also, If nobody's told you that in the past, like, you're strong, you're doing amazing, and you're trying your best. So tell yourself that it's perfectly right for me to be all that I am, all that I am not. That's one of the affirmations I've learned from this book. What you think of me is none of my business. This book is very, very powerful. It's helping me, and it's helped me a lot. It's given me a big perspective of, like, fuck it, whatever you think of me, you think of me. If you like me, you like me. And if you don't like me, or you don't like my life, you don't like things in my life, like, I can't make you like the things in my life. So it's like, if we're moving forward together and we're vibing together, for sure. And if we're not, like, there's not much I can do there, That's just the way it is. But thank you again. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out my Anchor listeners. Shout out my Spotify listeners. Shout out my YouTube watchers. My YouTube viewers. Sorry, not watchers. YouTube viewers. I appreciate all of you so much. This has been Me versus Myself podcast, episode 53, with your host, Jesus Guillen. Good.